We've seen this film before, I feel. Another 1-0 defeat.
I feel like we've just chucked away whatever progress we made in the last 2 games in terms of, the performances and the system.
I am Mr. Upbeat, and I cannot foresee Sheffield United staying up.
Lads!
Merry Christmas, Blades. It is of course Christmas time, and our very own Messiah, Chrissy Wilder, brought us a Christmas present in the form of changing our formation. Reverting to a formation that got us promoted, bringing back a popular role, a role that is known by many names, the number 10 role, centre attacking midfield, but is known quite simply and affectionately to us Blades as the Duffy role. Sadly no Duffy to come in, but we have an able deputy in Didsey coming into that position. Looking very excited to see that change. It worked quite well for us in a previous match. Nice to see it from the off, thought we might get something. Other changes included Osborne coming in for the ineffectual and unrecognisable Fleck. Sadly what followed was really pretty poor 45 minutes, pretty much spoiled by the conditions, blustery, rainy Bramall Lane. We couldn't really get the ball on the ground, a lot of aerial duels, passes going astray, being lumped to players, not very good to watch. But on 15 minutes we had a decent chance. Great through ball from Brewster. He's looking really good with a couple of flashes of quality. Through to Didsey, rounds the keeper, left-footed tame shot, which Pickford got a fingertip to, I believe, and as I say, a tame shot just trickled towards goal and was cleared by the defender. On 23 minutes, Everton had their first shot, long-range effort from Iwobi that was comfortably saved by Rammers. But on the 28 minutes, Dominic Calvert-Lewin should really score. A long ball from their defence, out jumps Robinson looking quite poor again, and just goes wide of the post. On 30 minutes, overconfident Rammers, I believe, goes to claim a floated free kick, drops it, really scary moment for us. And as the half drew to a close, Everton looked to be finishing stronger. Iwobi and Holgate in particular I thought looked really good. But the last kick of the game, and they took the lead. Very quick throw-in, given to Burke. Burke manages to outmuscle his man, is at the near post and goes for a right-footed curling shot to the far post, which I believe Pickford got a fingertip to. That was the last kick of the game and nearly had a chance to take the lead. Burke, for me, not looking as quick as he normally is. Maybe too many mince pies on Christmas Day, not sure about that. And as the half drew to a close, I'm thinking, well, it's quite soon, but maybe we should make some changes. Do we bring on Norwood, give some decent range of passing? The passing was quite poor. As there are some other changes we can make. But we finished the half with 4 shots each, 2 shots each on target, all square. I'm just hopeful that we can turn things around, get the ball on the ground, get some decent passes in and see if we can get something out of this game.
So after the obligatory cheese board, Boxing Day half-time treat, some lovely continental meats and a nice, very nice fiery chilli. It was on for the Blaze to provide a bit of spark that was missing in the first half in what was a pretty drab game in all honesty. Half-time saw Oliver Burke replaced by Oliver McBurney, one of 2 Olivers to come on in the second half. I don't know if that's a first for the Blades. It was much of the same, wasn't it? Just carried on and carried on. The game was 1-0. It was always going to be 1-0. You could sense one goal was going to win it. Pickford had very, very little. In fact, he had nothing to do. Ramsdale had nothing much to do himself either. The only things that Ramsdale had to do was mainly of his own making. Wilder tried to change it, took McGoldrick off, which was inevitable. He's a 60-minute man nowadays. After playing in that central midfield role, it was disappointing that he didn't create any chances. Brewster still barreled in front of goal. Nutwood's set pieces looked a bit better when he did come on for that second half. And then the sucker punch, 10 minutes to go. There was talk on the TV, do we stick, do we twist, do we take 0-0? Me personally would have taken 0-0 against Everton. I think it would have been a decent result and a much needed clean sheet. But for the second week in a row, not faulting Chris Basham's performance, but what a terrible header out. Same at Brighton. It was more unlucky at Brighton, but you do not head out into the centre of goal like that. And Gylfi Sigurdsson took it away nicely. Then the big chance came. We pushed forward. Oliver McBurney, stick your head on it. Sticks your head on it. It's 1-1 and we take something from the game, but we didn't. It's another defeat. It's another nail in the coffin. We're going to be running out of nails. There's that many in it at the moment. There's only 23 games left, only 69 points to play for. I mean, realistically, we need 38 out of 69 points to stay in this division. It's not going to happen. Let's now build for next season, build for the Championship. Let's experiment. We're gone. Let's face it, Blades. It's Championship football next season. I can't work any more miracles. I am Mr. Upbeat, and I cannot foresee Sheffield United staying up. Until next time, speak to you later.
So, player ratings for today. I'm going to start with Ramsdale in goal. I give Ramsdale a 6. First half, he bobbled one cross, was able to save himself from getting penalized for that mistake. But overall, in the game as a whole, he really did a much better job of coming out, catching balls that were getting crossed into the box. I personally felt there wasn't too much he could do with the Sigurdsson goal, so gave him a 6 today. Our back three, you had Chris Basham. I gave him a 6. Personally, today I felt that he was unlucky, the header that led to the Everton goal. And he's definitely been solid with the ball, taking it up the right side, linking up with Baldock and whoever's playing in the midfield. So 6 for Basham. Egan, gave him a 7. By far our best player, best defender, as he is every week, week in, week out. He is the reason why we are in these close games. Jack Robinson, for me today, he gets a 4. Yes, he was only really caught out once with a ball over the top to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but he made so many errors on the ball, giving away silly possessions. If it wasn't for his long throw and the fact that we have a chance to take something, late in games and get him up there and get a bunch of defenders up when it's not a corner, then I don't think Robinson would be near this first team. And hopefully come January and come the January transfer window, Robinson won't be near the first team. Moving on to our wingbacks, George Baldock, gave him a 5 today. Just wasn't anything really good or really bad with his game. He didn't really have as many crosses, I think, today as he has in the past. But his pace on the right side, bringing the ball up, coming back and defending, still solid as ever. And to Stevens, on the other side of the wing, 5.5 for him. He had a bit more influence, more crosses numbers-wise. I don't think the quality was there as much. He had a couple low, a couple high crosses. But at least we're getting something from the left side of our attacking play. In the midfield, I had Ethan Ampadu at a 5. First half, did not like how he was playing. Second half, I think he stepped it up and played a bit better. Ben Osborne, also gave him a 5, but for the opposite reason. First half, he ran his socks off, looked like he was going to be dominating the midfield, and then didn't really see anything of him in the second half. He became very pedestrian, as we've learned to say on this channel. Attacking midfield, McGoldrick, I gave him a 6. I thought that starting him in the number 10 role was going to work well, and it did, but Wilder switched the formation around, dropped McGoldrick and Brewster in behind Burke, and I think that kind of messed things up. McGoldrick couldn't really commit to the attack as well, but he still looked the most likely to score of our 3 strikers on the field in the first half, which is why I gave him a 6. Our other 2 strikers, first up, I have Burke with a 5.5. First half, again, pacey, always challenging the defenders. Definitely something we need to have on the field constantly. He was subbed off at halftime, and he did have a really good look at the end of the first half where maybe if he could have curved the ball a bit more, he might have been able to get that in goal or pass it back to somebody running into the box there. Brewster, gave him a 5. Again, game after game, he's on there. He's running around. He touches the ball a few times, but he's not really having a shot. He's not really linking up play effectively. So I don't know what it is about Wilder's system or how he's instructing Brewster to play with the other strikers, but he's just not fitting in right now. And I hope that doesn't harm him in the long run as one of our future prospects that we have on this team that we're going to need in the years going forward. but right now it just doesn't look like we have a system that suits Brewster. Substitutes wise, McBurney came on at halftime, giving him a 5.5. Came on for Burke. He was involved in every offensive possession, but again, it was through the long balls. He did have one good chance off a corner that he probably should have put away. Same with the shot at the end. He could have done something with that. But again, it's not the method that we want to be using to run our attacks in these games. Ollie Norwood, our second sub, gave him a 4.5. Wyler brought him on for Didsey. Kind of the opposite of how our substitutes have been going in the previous games, taking the attacking player off for a more defensive player. Yet Norwood provided neither attack nor defense. He gave up a silly foul as he usually does, giving away a deadly free kick. Nothing came of it, fortunately, but still, I don't think Ollie Norwood's the same player that he has been, and definitely didn't show us anything else today. Finally, our last sub, Mousse, gave him a 5. Only had about 10 minutes in the game anyways, but his pace was there. I think injuries aside, I would be starting Mousse or Ollie Burke in every game, and I would be subbing one for the other because we always need pace on the field, and that he showed us that in the last couple minutes that he was on the field.
Right, positives and negatives. We've seen this film before, I feel. Another 1-0 defeat. Positives, let's try and find some. We went toe-to-toe with Everton for a good portion of that game. Some good incisive passing, some good moments. Not quite enough, and certainly didn't test Jordan Pickford or T-Rex as much as we'd have liked to. But we're focusing on positives at the moment. I think from the off, the fact that we changed to a more attacking formation, certainly given the personnel available, that was a plus, even if we didn't get to see it enough during the 90 minutes. I think a lot of Blades would like to change the way that the defence sets up, call it a 5, call it a 3. We just really don't have the personnel at the moment to, I think, keep persisting with that. I mean, imagine if we don't, what's the worst that's going to happen? We go down. Negatives. Like I say, we didn't test Jordan Pickford enough, in the kind of conditions as well. Pop shots from anywhere would have been a good idea. Norwood as well, Ollie Norwood. One good corner on 92 minutes, but really looks like a different player. Just not the same Ollie Norwood. And I think in total, Chris Wilder got the subs wrong, that they just were at the wrong time, sometimes the wrong player as well, and total opposite to Brighton, where Wilder got them spot on. I think another negative is the confidence of the entire team takes a huge knock after another defeat and not able to keep a clean sheet. Another negative, McBurney can't dive. If you're going to do the swan dive, McBurney, and put your shoulder out, at least learn how to dive properly. Personally, just don't want to see it. And I think the big negative is, despite everything else I love being cancelled and ruined, the Premier League is just going to march on, and this season is not going to be null and void.
So where do we go from here? I generally don't know, really. I am really trying to stay positive. I know it doesn't sound like it, but today, and, for a while, it is becoming increasingly difficult to, see where anything's going to come from. I feel like we've just chucked away whatever progress we made in the last 2 games in terms of, the performances and the system. We showed positivity, we showed grit, we showed bravery, determination, you name it. We looked like the United we love. And that's just disappeared again today. I don't know what's happened. The lineup looked really promising. Everton showed absolutely nothing. Nothing. And if we'd just shown and done what we know we can play like, we would have had a good chance today. They were there for the taking. We need creativity desperately. We have absolutely nothing. We don't have good service from the flanks. We're just absolutely numb in the middle. We need that player who can make something happen out of nothing, desperately. Whether we go down or not, the Championship will pull no punches. We need that for down there as well. We need to sort that defence out massively. Forget about the attacking side for the centre-halves for a minute. We just need someone in that left centre-half spot that can just do a defensive job, please. Don't care who it is, just get someone in to do that job. It's going to be a tall order to stay up, I think we all know that, but we need to decide what club we want to be. We need to step back and decide if we want to have our day in the sun and then crumble and just become mid-table Championship fodder, or if we want to learn from what's happening in this season and build to have a better future for the club and sustainability in the top flight, which is what I think we all need and want. Majority of the squad, sadly, just isn't good enough for this level, and some of them I don't think is really good enough for top-end Championship, really. We have quite a lot of ageing players who are on decent contracts, and, we need to take that into consideration when building. And I know the wage structure's there for a reason, but we need to kind of realise that if we want good players, we need to pay a nice chunk for them to want to come play for us. I know we can't get back to the lane yet, but when we can, I know for sure we're all going to be there to give our club the support it deserves and, get them lads playing back how we know they can. So let's try and stay positive as much as we can, whatever the rest of the season holds. And up them Blades!